CPS.com. Mr. Ivey know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, close fists, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Let's give it a little bit more time so people can find us. I was off a couple days this week. Matter of fact, I was off 3 days this week, which is very, very rare, but all necessary stuff I had to take care of. Good morning to you, and I'm back. On today's show, why I'm still mad as you know what, as CPS over the death of Gabriel Taye. There was a recent article, so heart-wrenching, in which a local reporter got a chance to speak with Gabriel Taye's father, who is a truck driver, and he's out of state. So heart-wrenching. This is the story of a young black boy who was bullied over and over again by CPS or at a CPS school, a Cincinnati Public School. And he ended up committing suicide. He ended up hanging himself with his own tie. Yeah, and that's sad. Very, very sad. And anybody who knows anything about bullying or anything like that, or you follow that kind of stuff, well, then what you know is that that's something that can't happen. That's not a new phenomenon. Like people who are taught about bullying and anti-bullying training, they're taught that it can have a severe impact on some people, some children, that can lead to them to have thoughts of suicide. So that's not a stretch. That's not a stretch. But to me, there's a lot of layers to this story. And I feel like the media is doing that dumb shit again. And it's up to yours truly to keep it 100 with you. Because I feel like they either they don't know or they don't show. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I have 2 children that go to CPS, Cincinnati Public Schools. One is in the 11th grade, so she's almost done. Next year is her senior year. She is super happy. She woke up singing this morning. When you have children, me and my wife in bed, we work hard every day. We trying to get some rest. These mofos coming in singing and dancing. My daughter's doing the goofy dance. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. I'm trying to sleep. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. That's what I hear this morning. Then my son, he's like, wait a minute. There's a party in mommy and daddy's room. He runs in. He's dancing. We tried to hide by pulling the covers up and counting, but it didn't work. They were still there. Them little mofos were still there, dancing. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. You know what I'm talking about? Mickey Mouse Club, the intro to that. If you don't have children, you don't know what I'm talking about. These mofos dancing around at 6:30 in the morning. Oh, my God. I was trying to get it in, too. Trying to get it in a little extra because I was already prepared, knew what I wanted to talk about. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. But so I'm invested. My son is 7, so he's in the 1st grade. That means I got many, many years if we continue to live in Cincinnati to deal with CPS. So I'm invested in this. And when I was reading the article, which is Cincinnati.com, it was detailing, some of the plans that they have, because there was a big settlement. So basically, the family of Gabriel Taye, they sued CPS. And what's getting lost in this is that CPS went to court and basically tried to argue that they're not responsible for our children. They don't have to tell parents, like, if your kid is knocked unconscious. They basically said they weren't responsible for what happened to the little boy. This is what they tried to do, and this is their legal argument. They paid a law firm hundreds of thousands of dollars to argue that they're not responsible for the children that are under their purview. That's what they were arguing, essentially. And the federal judges, they scorched them. They scorched CPS and CPS's argument. The words were meritless, unpersuasive, gross mischaracterization. Basically, courts sided with the mother and said that CPS did lie. The mom said that she was not told. Gabriel Taye's mom said that she was not told the details of what was happening to her son. And that's what the courts found. And then after that 3-panel judge came back, when was this? That was in January 2021. So a little over a year ago. After that 3-panel Ohio, it was the 6th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. After they came back and basically told the lawyers representing CPS that your arguments are full of shit, CPS wanted to settle. So then when I'm reading to, now about this settlement, it doesn't really deal with the heart of the matter. They're talking about restorative discipline practices. What does restorative practices have to do with administrators not doing their job? That's what happened with Gabriel Taye. The administrators didn't do their job. So what does restorative practices, which is like, kid does something, instead of punishing them, you try to teach them and then and try to get them back, make sure they stay in the classroom. How does that have anything to do with an administrator who is fully aware of what happens to a child, but don't act on it? Nothing. It has nothing to do with it. I read as a part of this lawsuit, because I go to, like I said, I'm a CPS parent. I have yet to receive any notification at this point that anything is different regarding the CPS bullying policy at all. I've received no notifications. Every other day, I'm getting messages from the principal about all this other kind of shit. I ain't received no messages about that whatsoever. I don't know what's different. Is it just different on paper? I read that as a part of the settlement that they're gonna make a memorial outside of the same school that Gabriel Taye was attending, and that's cool and all. But what we need to have a memorial, and I think that can be powerful as you walk in and out of that school. Like, people are like, what happened here? Teachers are like, what happened here? People can remember. We need to do that. We need to have a memorial like that outside of every CPS school, so everybody can remember what happened to this little boy in every single school. Every single school. So nobody can ever forget, because Black life matters to me. That's why. That's why I'm still talking about it, because Black life matters. Right? We're going to say Black lives matter, and they matter all the time in every way. You know what I'm saying? Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Good morning. Let me fix this just a little bit more. I like it that way. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Good morning to you. I got stuff all around here. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. It's crazy, yo. This federal, I'll never forget. So what is CPS going to do? I read that they're going to do some anti-bullying training. Is it going to be mandatory? I mean, I'm for training. I'm down with training. I like training, because then you can hold people accountable for what they're being trained about. So I'm with the business on the training, but we need to have training to make sure that people are properly responding. You can't stop bullying. You can't stop bullying. You're never going to stop that. Bullying is a part of human nature. People have been bullying Cain and Abel. Bullying is just a part of human interaction. Like, one person trying to intimidate another person. That's just a part of human interaction. You can't stop that when you're dealing with thousands of children. But what you can do is to make sure that the adults in the building respond appropriately. And they don't always do that. You know, my daughter's had some situations in her school where she was being racially intimidated by a white student, calling her the N-word. We hit the roof. We hit the roof, but we let it simmer a little bit because we wanted to see what the administration was going to do. We gave them a little bit of time. These motherfuckers didn't do nothing. Had to have a meeting with everybody. That's what they like to do with CPS. They like to try to surround you with a whole bunch of people. Like they'll put you in a room with the principal and the assistant principal and the counselors. And then if you're a black man, they'll try to bring in the resource officer. That's what they try to do with me. Sit the resource officer right there with you, like that's going to intimidate you. That ain't do shit. I don't give a damn because I'm ready to go to jail any day. Let's go. I'll get out. And if you do something wrong, I'm going to have a case. We're going to hit the lotto. And they'll sit in there and they'll stone face you. Like everybody tries to take on like the face or the energy of the principal or whoever's doing the talking. That shit don't work with me. You can't do that with everybody, but that's what they try to do. And I remember the principal of my daughter's school, still black man. This motherfucker had the nerve to tell me, nobody's being called the N-word in my school. I'm like, well, how do you know? So my daughter's just lying. It was a big whole thing. Trust me when I tell you that. It was an issue. It was an issue. And what dawned on me is that it ain't the students, it's the adults in the building. That's what the problem is. It's the adults who see it and they don't react to it, or they got their bias, or they're playing, they caught up in their own stuff. Who knows what it is? I don't understand it myself. Right? That's what the issue is. So as I keep looking at, you know, what they're going to put in place for what's going to be implemented in terms of Gabriel Taye, I mean, CPS is ill-equipped to even do it. I mean, think about this. How is CPS going to hold somebody responsible when initially they didn't even want to hold themselves responsible? What happened to the boy? But now we're going to trust them to hold everybody else responsible, and they weren't even honest enough to hold themselves responsible. They tried to go to court and argue that they had no responsibility. And if the judges would have rolled with it, they would have rolled with it. That's the only reason why. The only reason why they got a settlement is because CPS lawyers could see the writing on the wall. The judges wasn't going for it. And they went back to CPS and said, you know what? The judges ain't going for it. We need to settle. That's the only reason why. That should be a part of the conversation when you're talking about implementing changes, and it's the mentality at the very, very top. Like, who made this decision? Who made the decision? You know, I like Mike Morosky. I like him a lot. But you know me, I keep it 100. And I remember bringing this up to him. He was like a fish on a hook. He didn't want to talk about it. I'm like, bruh, you in leadership. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, who was responsible for that? We still don't even know. But see, what happens is when the courts get involved, they can sit back and say, well, I can't talk about it because of the courts. Well, how the hell we can't talk about it? How do we ever get to the bottom of it? It's the Cincinnati way. So in the Cincinnati way, what you do is, this is the real issue, but you pivot and you talk about this instead, right? F that. Are children safe? Are black kids safe when they go to CPS schools? Are people safe? Like I told you, I've said it before. I've talked to a lot of parents because that's what I do. When I see an issue, I get involved. I get closer to it. This ain't just a black thing. It's a person thing. And I'm speaking in generality, so there's always exceptions to every rule. But I mean, that's what the issue is. So as I'm looking at what they're going to put in place, I'm like, how is this going to address the issue? CPS said in a statement that they want to end bullying. That is like saying you want to stop the rain. That's the stupidest shit I ever heard in my entire life. That you can't do that. But what you can do is make sure that the administrators and the teachers and the counselors address it appropriately. Now that's possible, but you ain't gonna end bullying. To even suggest something like that to a logical, intelligent person is ridiculous. They'll look at you like, huh? Get out of here with that. We're gonna end violence. Oh, okay. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Hey, good morning to you. 513-873-7134. I'm always on one. You already know. For my children, for the babies, I'm always on one. The problem with CPS as it relates to bullying is the adults, just like it was over at Carson Elementary. It wasn't Gabriel's fault. It was the adults that didn't do anything. They saw it and didn't do anything, or they pushed it off and they didn't respond to that mother the way they were supposed to. So how is restorative justice practice going to deal with that? It ain't. How is putting up a memorial outside of Carson Elementary going to deal with that? It ain't. It's not. And the fact, see, I would think more highly of CPS if they never went to court and tried to fight it. They should have just said, you know what? We was wrong. We was wrong from the beginning. We'll try to do better for our babies. But they spent a year and a half spending hundreds of thousands of dollars arguing some shit they knew they was wrong about. And then you got the nerve. Now we're going to trust these same people to implement some kind of responsibility plan? This is laughable. This is laughable. And, I don't know Madeline Mitchell. She's the education reporter. I've got a chance to converse with her a couple of times. But gosh darn it, can we get some pushback or something in these articles? Come on now. Gosh darn. I mean, come on. It needs to be said by the big mainstream press. CPS tried to argue in court that they weren't responsible for what happened to this boy. That's the story. They tried to argue in court that we weren't responsible. And the court said, what's the words again? In terms of CPS arguments, meritless, unpersuasive, gross mischaracterization. No wonder these kids, no wonder this happened to this boy. No wonder it continues to happen because the people at the top got the wrong mentality. Now you got new leadership over there at CPS. You got a brand new superintendent. And I like that. Hopefully because the sister's coming from the outside, that she won't feel like she got to go with the old guard and she can come in and bring a breath of fresh air because they need it. They need it. But what needs to happen is more responsibility on the administrators. That's what needs to happen. And I don't see that. These administrators of these schools, they operate like, what's the word? They operate like governors of a state almost. Where within this pool, they have limitless power. And CPS, the administration stays way back. If you have a problem with an administrator at your school and you go and you don't even talk with the board, a waste of time. Them motherfuckers ain't gonna do shit. They ain't gonna do nothing. Well, we don't have to get involved with the school. That's not the way you go. You really have no recourse. Like I said, unless you can what has been in the past anyway. The unfortunate thing about CPS is that if you have an issue with the administrators, and these administrators are not saints, they ordinary people, they make mistakes, they have good days and bad days, they just people like everybody else. They ain't better than nobody else. They're not more saintly, they're not more angelic. They just got a job to do. That's it. But when you have an issue with a administrator where either they disrespect you or they stonewall you, because I've seen it both ways, what are you going to do? You can't do shit about it. There's nowhere for you to go at all. You can't call nobody. If you go to the school board, they're going to tell you, well, did you send them an email? You should try again. That's all they're going to say. They don't have nothing for you. They're either institutionally positioned in a place where their hands are tied, or personally, they don't want to get involved. That's what I've seen. And you don't have nowhere to go. Now, if you can't get in contact with the superintendent, you ass out. You are ass out. Now, what you gonna do about that? When they gonna change that? That's what the issue is, or one of the issues. There's a multitude of issues. That's what the issue is like there's no accountability. And so when this mother was struggling with this boy, she ain't get no push. She got no response in some cases. And her son unconscious on the bathroom floor. And then CPS, the superintendent at the time, goes into the media and says, well, we ain't responsible. Nobody's responsible. That's crazy. Nobody's responsible. Well, what was the white female? What was her name again? I think she over at Norwood. Why would you want that? I don't know, but okay, it seems to be working for you. We don't hear anything too negative. What did she say? Yeah, there's no connection between what happened to Gabriel Taye and what happened to him being bullied in the school. Now, I used to work in youth development. And as a part of that, I went to a training that was provided by CPS like 7, 8 years ago. And in that training, they told us there was a connection between bullying and suicide. So how is a CPS superintendent going to come forward many years later and say something different? Asinine. Passing the buck. We're irresponsible. It's somebody else's fault. But then you want to hold the students accountable, right? It's ridiculous, man. I'm telling you, that's what the issue is. That's what the issue. One of the many issues. There's multitude of issues, but that's one of the many issues here. So when I read that article with Gabriel Taye, it set me off. Man, every time I see his face, I get pissed all over again. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a son. My son is 7. Gabriel Taye was 8, around the same age. They got that, always got a smile on their face. All they want to do is play, eat pizza, and tater tots and candy. And play video games. That's all they want to do. It's a beautiful age. That's all they want to do at that age. Going to school, getting bullied, no recourse. Probably by some kids who ain't getting what they need at home. So they go to school and project nastiness on somebody else, makes them feel good for a second. Right. And just imagine you're a parent and you're dealing with this and you're like, who do I call? Ain't nobody to call. There's nobody to call. Ain't nobody gonna come help you. And in the year and a half, the CPS was running around trying to make legal arguments to get themselves off the hook. They could have implemented some plans that could have probably, saved or had a positive impact in the quality of life of some students who are probably being bullied. I just remain unsatisfied by what I'm hearing. And I ain't hearing nothing. I don't hear anything. I ain't received no letters. I ain't received no correspondence, no emails. I get emails about everything else as relates to student life for my children. I ain't received nothing about no updated bullying policy. Just a lack of communication from CPS, man. It's like the more things change, the more they stay the same. It's the truth. Dale writes, he was unconscious on the floor at the entrance and teachers were walking past him, laying there and did nothing. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, so what are you going to do about it? You don't have to train somebody on what to do. What the fuck is you talking about? You got to train somebody in order to respond to a student in distress? If I got to train you to stop and deal with a boy that's unconscious on the floor or laying on the floor in the bathroom, your ass gots to go. You're ill-equipped for this job, period. You're the wrong person at the wrong time. And that's okay. That happens too sometimes. I get it. I totally get it. I totally understand it. Before we get too deep in the show, I want to remind you that today's show is brought to you by our friends over at Renew Community Church. They got over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. People are tuning in. And this Sunday, of course, every Sunday at 11:45 a.m., they do a Sunday morning masterclass. This Sunday, the topic is Your Health is Your Wealth. I was talking to Mr. Winburn, conversing with him over the last 36 hours, and apparently he on that health kick. He living more plant-based these days, and I love it. I told him, man, that's great news. That is great news.
Search for today or better health. It takes 60 seconds for the universe through the invisible law of attraction to be fully activated in your life. God's invisible law of attraction is available to you today because you are just 60 seconds away from your better health. Take the next 60 seconds and improve your health by telling a health story for 60 seconds 3 times a day for 21 days. Why 21 days? Because that's how long it will take to change your life. Now say this health story out loud 3 times a day. It is my divine and human right to walk in healing and health and wholeness today. I am well, healthy, and I'm spiritually well, psychologically well, and emotionally well. Today, I walk in divine health and divine healing. My health is getting better and better today.
Oh, thank you, Daryl. Thank you. Sorry about that. You know, I got it over with. I got it in. I got to get that in at least once per show. But what's this nice? Cyber Wakanda. Oh, that's nice. Who made that? I like that. But so that's the reason why I'm still mad as F at CPS, because I don't think they've done enough. And I don't think they're communicating what they're doing to the parents, because I'm a parent and I'm not getting any communications whatsoever. I keep reading shit in the newspaper. I keep reading shit on Cincinnati.com, but they ain't reached out and sent no messages and nothing. Come on now, step that game up. And like I said, if you look at, let me go back to it. I'll show you. People forget this, man. Unpersuasive, meritless, gross mischaracterization. U.S. Appeals Court scorches CPS in case of 8-year-old suicide. Ann Saker, this was January 3rd, 2021. 8-year-old Gabriel Taye died by suicide nearly 4 years ago, and for nearly as long, federal judges have studied the chronic bullying he endured at Carson Elementary. Gabriel's parents sued CPS for his wrongful death and presented evidence that Carson leaders repeatedly lied to Gabriel's mother, which, what I read in the court documents, they said was true. They did lie to his mom. So you got a boy that's being bullied, a mother that's in distress, and officials from CPS are lying to the mother. Now, how is that being addressed in the reforms? I like to know. I like to know. Blah, 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 blah. Carson leaders repeatedly lied to Gabriel's mother, and they got a new principal over there now, and I've been reading he's been doing some great things. That's cool. That's great. It's a brother over there. Lied to Gabriel's mother, and the bullying intensified, threatened Gabriel with punishment as he fought back. In defense, CPS asked for dismissal, noting Carson's leaders did, the system's lawyer argued, was bad enough to lift the legal shield for official acts of teachers and administrators. So the argument was that there's a legal shield for teachers and administrators, and CPS parents were saying that the fact that the people over at Carson, whatever they did, didn't rise to the level for CPS to lose that legal shield. And all that happened was the boy committed suicide. But a 3-panel judge voted unanimously and rejected the motion of dismissal. Quote, this court finds their behavior as alleged to be egregious and clearly reckless. Egregious and clearly reckless. That's the reason why they settled. If the judges had said, you know what, we see merits on your argument here legally, they would have proceeded. We wouldn't even be talking about no implementation right now. That says something about the mentality of the leadership of CPS. That says something about them. Because what we'll tell kids is, when you're wrong, admit you're wrong. Tell me I'm wrong on that. When you're wrong, you're wrong. But when CPS is wrong, they want to argue to see if they can be right and maybe they can get out of it somehow. Huh? What? Judge Bernice Bowie Donald, in her statement from the court, she said she referred to Gabriel's time at Carson Elementary, which was a CPS school, as quote unquote a horrifying experience. Horrifying experience at a fucking school? That's what this judge said after spending years looking at the case. A horrifying experience. So what is being done to rectify that? In this new, new implementation and things they're going to put in place, I remain unconvinced. She called CPS arguments unpersuasive, meritless, and a gross mischaracterization of the evidence the parents offered, which is par for the course. I've heard of some parents where they have an issue surrounding a kid, they go talk with the administrators try to turn it on them. And that's exactly what the lawyers that represented CPS tried to do. They tried to turn it back on Gabriel Taye's mama. And all she's doing is grieving. See, tell the whole story is what I'm saying, local media. If we're going to do these updates and checking in, tell the whole story. Don't just say, well, we've got, and it pisses me off. They try to play this game. We got a historic agreement. It's an historic agreement on bullying that they've arrived to. Bullshit. 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 I'm calling straight BS on it. Now, these cases are very hard to say, though. It's really hard to say that one thing leads to another. You know, kid is getting bullied, kid goes home, commits suicide. It can be hard to connect those dots. But what you can connect is the actions of the adults. Did the adults do what they were supposed to do? And clearly in this case, they did not. So what I would like to know as a parent from CPS, and I'm not done with this, is, okay, as the party's new reforms and the lawsuit, what is being done to hold the adults, the administrators accountable in a situation like this? I just feel like we're burying the lead. We're burying the lead with this story, but that's just me. Now, do Black Lives matter or not? Simple as that. Do we care about what's happening with CPS or not? Does it matter or does it not matter? I'd like to know. You had one administrator that found Gabriel Taye on the ground, just stood over him. Never called 911, even though that's CPS policy. The school nurse told Gabriel's mother that he fainted. What does this have to do with restorative justice practices? Nothing. That's adults making bad decisions over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's what happens. Like I said, you can't stop bullying. Adults, I've seen adults get bullied on the job. I've seen grown people get bullied on the job. On the job. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing to me. Let alone we talking about elementary kids. Come on now, you can't stop bullying. But what you can stop is the inactions of adults. You can hold them adults accountable. That's what you're there for. That's what you're there for. You just check this out for yourself. You think I'm lying? I'm gonna put the link into this article. You can check this out. This was dated, I don't know, about a year ago. Shit ticks me off, man. Because kids shouldn't have to go to school and deal with that kind of stuff, man. And when they do, that's what the adults is for. You're supposed to step in there like a superhero and deal with it accordingly. It don't mean you got to come super hard down, because you show me a kid is being bullied, and more than likely, it's his mama and daddy's fault. More than likely. Shit ain't right in the house. More than likely. So I get it. But what I don't hear enough of is how we're holding, and I'll say this for like the 15th time, how are we holding the administrators and the teachers and the adults that work in CPS buildings? How are they being held accountable? That's what the issue is. That's just me. Let me move on here. 513-873-7134. You know, I like to mix it up. So if you want to chime in on that, matter of fact, let me post the most recent article too. It's a tearjerker. It really is, man. It's a tearjerker. It's a tearjerker. There's a couple stories in the news that I want to share with you that have to deal with children. Actually, there's another one about a little girl that was supposed to be being babysat, and she get hit crossing the damn street, 7 years old. The hell was the babysitter doing? But is the babysitter really responsible for something like that? I don't know. We'll get to it. I'll post a link for this story as well so you can check this out. So sad. And Gabriel looks just like his dad. Looks just like his pops. Beautiful thing. But again, I've asked you, and thank you so much because it keeps me up to date, to post things you find of interest inside the Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivey Show. It's a closed Facebook group. That's my primary place for show prep. I go there every single day and interact with the folks and just see what's going on. But Crystal posted something, I don't know, within the last 24 hours, and I had seen this somewhere else. And I want to talk about this because I think that there's a lesson here. Okay, I think there's a lesson that I can share with you. Plus, it's a Friday, and we do different things on Fridays. We can relax the topics just a little bit. But let me share this with you real quick. I want you to see this video. Got to check out this video. It's a real quick video. Now, purportedly in this video, it purports to be a woman who is. It purports to be a woman. Purportedly, it's a woman that is proposing to a man. That beautiful sister right there. And what you're going to see is she's going to propose to that brother right there. He's looking good, ladies. He's looking good. All cleaned up, got that beard game going and the baldy. Ooh, with the dark skin. Ooh, some ladies out there getting moist. Don't get too moist, ladies. All right. So I'm going to play this video. I want to play it all the way through, and you're going to get a very strong reaction from one of her family members, and I want to give you my thoughts about it. Check this out.
I just want to know.
Get out!
Stop right there. Is anything wrong with this, ladies, fellas? A woman is proposing to a man. Now, some people, it was all comedians, is that right? Is that right? Yeah, I knew it was old because I've seen it before, but let me finish this point, though, real quick. Are you sure about that? I wouldn't doubt it, Darryl. I wouldn't doubt it, but I want to make this point no matter what. It doesn't even matter. I want to make this point no matter what. So some people would have an issue with a woman proposing to a man, but I mean, you know, we living in a modern world. You got modern day women out there. We always telling women to go for what you want, and you should go for what you want. You know what I'm saying? If you want something, you should ask for it. All that traditional stuff about who should do this first, I mean, some of that stuff is out the window. Some of it's still in place, like opening doors for a lady and paying for things and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I mean, a man should still be a man. But I see the haters out here already. Look at this. Y'all is some haters. Oh, do they? Great, great. I love when people do that, Darryl. I love when people do that. He said they do skits and post them online. That's great. But let's just pretend it's real. Just for a second, I want to make this point. Mika writes, ain't no way in hell. See, that's what the problem is. It ain't that modern. No, it is that modern. It is that modern. Ain't a damn thing wrong with a woman going for what she want. So you got to put it that way. You can't say proposing to a man. You got to say there's nothing wrong with a woman going for what she want. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We tell women to go for what they want these days, and that includes if there's a man that you want. You should do that. And Darryl, now that you're saying that, that kind of makes sense. I can see that. I can see that in the interactions with the sister in blue. But check this out, though. Check this out. To each her own. If it means that much to you and that's the only way you're going to get it, go ahead. Not for me, though. Oh, my good morning to you, Shannon. Now, why you got to put the not for me in there? To make it seem like there's something wrong with it, even though you go ahead and do you something wrong with it. But check this out. Blue's his favorite color.
You gonna do my daughter like that? I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you.
So apparently that was the father. And he's like, you gonna do my daughter like that? Listen, men and women, there's some questions that you should never ask until you already know the answer. In life, there's some questions you should never ask unless you already know the answer. And at the top of that list is marriage proposals. You don't never get on no bended knee in front of nobody. You don't even do that if nobody was around. Let's say it's just you and somebody else, y'all alone. You don't even do that with them. Fellas, you don't never get on bended knee and ask a woman to marry you unless you already know she's going to say yeah. Ladies, modern ladies, and again, you know, Shannon and Tanika and who else in here? Who else is in here hating? Jenny. Y'all, all them hating. They hating this morning. Listen, modern women, get what you want. Go get it. If you a go-getter, go get it. But you don't never get on bended knee and ask a person to marry you unless you already know the answer. And if you the father in a situation like that, let's say that's your daughter. I don't think the man said anything disrespectful. I ain't gonna be happy because my daughter's feeling some kind of way, right? But why are you gonna threaten to kill him? For what? You're gonna do my daughter like that? He didn't do your daughter no way. He just simply said, I don't want it. My favorite color is blue. Ain't nothing wrong with that. If you a pops in that situation, you got to stand down. You got to stand down. You can't get all Will Smith and get in your feelings or overreact. You can't do that. You got to stand down. You got to realize you got to charge it to the game. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's what it is. You move on. Somebody says it's all wrong. What the hell? She should put her foot up both. There you go. He definitely ain't no high value man. Oh my God. Now, how you know he ain't no high value man, Shantae? He definitely ain't no high valued man. How do you know that? How you gonna I learned a long time ago, never judge a book by its cover. Never do that. Mika writes, never hate on anybody about anything, just not my thing. Okay, I get you. Now he's not a high value man. Let me see. Samantha writes, mouth wide open in shock after seeing the marriage proposal. You know, again, it's happening more and more. Why you want to wait? You find somebody you want to be with, get that ring, go ahead and pop it to him. Now, some people will say that if a woman proposes to a man, it's never going to work because he's got the upper hand now. Well, somebody always has the upper hand in a relationship. It has nothing to do with the proposal. Crystal writes, that's so embarrassing. It is embarrassing, Crystal. I can definitely see her being embarrassed. But, you know, no guts, no glory. You know what I'm saying? You go hard or go home. You know what I'm saying? You know, shit, basketball players, you going to take the last shot or not? You going to shoot your shot or not? You know, that's the risk you take when you shoot your shot. Comes with the territory. What? Danita's in the house? What? Danita's in the house. Good to see you. She writes, good morning, choppers. There is a show on OWN that the woman spends 3 days, plans a wedding without telling her mate. She tells her family and his. She then surprises him and asks him to marry her. If he says yes, they get married that day. Is that right? That's an interesting show. Is that right? Now, is it men and women that do this, or is it just women proposing to men? I got no problem with it. Go for what you want. Shannon writes, no hate. Exactly what you said. How would you know? That's why a woman doesn't do it. If he were sure about it, he would do it. It doesn't align with what I value in a relationship or man. It doesn't align with what I value in a relationship or man. What in the hell? So you proposing to a man doesn't align with what you value. I ain't mad at you. That's hilarious. Women these days. TNT writes, because he left with the raggedy chick in blue, sucker-ish. Yeah, if that's medium Buddha, number one, if that's medium Buddha, what I'm going to tell is what I'm telling you, babe. Do you know what his answer is going to be? Now, I'm not really sure that I don't really know. Then don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Or just be prepared for whatever happens. I thought Pops was way out of line. I'm going to play it for you one more time. I thought Pops was way out of line. Roll tape.
Get out!
Now, the only thing that he could have done differently in a situation like that, like let's say, fellas, you're the man in that situation. The only thing he could have done differently is he could have explained to her right on the spot why he is choosing what he's choosing. Because women get a chance to do that. Like women can like tell a man off in front of people and people are like, well, he deserved it. Or explain themselves. And even though it might be embarrassing, it's real, it's the truth, right? What he should have done, he could have done, is explain. He just walked away from her, which is, maybe he was like, look, this is embarrassing for you. It's embarrassing for me. Let me just leave the situation as quickly as possible. Yeah. But, you know, if she gonna take the time to get on bended knee, then you should take the time to explain to her why you ain't gonna accept it. Just tell her right there, like, look, I don't really love you like that. Or whatever the case may be. That's the only thing I think you could have done. That's it. Vernon writes, damn, the brother said no. That's right. Sometimes men say no. Men got options. We got all the options. Men have all the options because there's more women than men. We got all the options. Exercise your options. You ain't got to take the first woman that proposed to you. I'm curious, are there any men in the chop shop that have been proposed to? Has anybody ever proposed to you? Even I'll extend it to the ladies as well. Have you ever been proposed to and you turned it down? I'd like to know what that was like. Have you ever been proposed to and you turned it down? It's just the women. Oh, okay. So they're flipping the paradigm. Like I told you, modern women, it's a whole new thing. These modern women is bout it. Telling you, modern women is something else. I ain't gonna say they act like men because they don't. They act like women, but modern women is on some old. They didn't broke the mold. Jericho writes, hola, beautiful black people and the others too. What's up, Jericho? Hey, y'all, we got Danita in the house. I ain't seen Danita in a minute. It is great to see you, Danita. Now, you know I've been following you on Facebook, though, so I'm glad to see everything is good, family healthy. Glad to see you back in here. We miss you. I missed you. Anthony writes, we see men getting turned down all the time. Never hear women say anything about how the women shouldn't have done them some way. Right. Thank you, Anthony. Women are some of the biggest hypocrites in the world. Women are the biggest hypocrites. Women are way more hypocritical than men. Way more. Because the grace, the consideration, the empathy they show women, they don't have none of that for men. None of that. Like a woman, let me give you an extreme example. A woman can have a friend that's cheating on her boyfriend or let's say husband. And they won't say a word. They'll rationalize it like, well, that's her business. Grown folks do what grown folks do. I'm staying out of it. Let that same girlfriend get cheated on by her husband or boyfriend, and they'll have everything negative to say about this man. Well, why you want to be married and do that? Tell me I'm wrong. Brenda writes, I've seen that show Saturday on Put a Ring on It. Does that put a ring on it? I've seen it before. Jericho writes, this has to be staged fake. It could be. Brian writes, this ish ain't real. They did it all for the likes. Could be, but I'm still going to pull something out of it nonetheless. Cass writes, you should be having conversation about the future. And if you're going to be married before the proposal anyway, either way, I'm not asking. Okay. Jeffrey writes, my son's mother did. Your son's mother proposed to you, Jeffrey? And what did you say? And what was it like? I'm curious. What did you say? If you said no, because man, look, if you got a right to say no to a woman's proposal, you got every right, and you ain't got to feel some kind of way about it. If you don't want to get married, you don't have to freaking get married. These women out here want to press you to get married and press you. And once they get married, they don't even want your ass. They just think, some of these women think they want to get married. They really don't. They like the idea of marriage, but they don't really want to be married. They don't really want to be married because marriage ain't about sitting around somebody bring you flowers. That's not what it is. You can get that too sometimes, but that's not what it is. So fellas, you got every right to say no. You ain't got to say yeah just because she cute. Just because you've been sampling the groceries. You know what I'm saying? She knew what it was from the beginning. You do not have to say yes. But Jeffrey, what happened in that situation? Dante writes, that Punani trash, Nate, LOL. Trash Punani. That's hilarious. Chris writes, so wait a minute. If a woman proposes, does he get 2 rings and her? Does he get 2 rings and her 1? If a woman proposes, that's an interesting question, Chris. I don't know. I don't know. That's a fair question. Good morning to you. Good morning. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts this morning. That is crazy. Let me jump inside the chop shop. Pamela writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Ray writes, good risings all. Sharp writes, TGIF, Nate and the Choppers. Fox writes, rise and shine. Take Mary Ronan off that building. Yeah, absolutely. After what she said about Gabriel Taye, Her name should not be on any building that has anything to do with children. And on top of it, CPS, it basically settled. So that kind of admits some culpability right there, some responsibility on mine. That's the way I look at it. Could be wrong. You have to tell me. But that article ticked me off because of what it didn't say. It wasn't so much what it said. I mean, Madeline Mitchell, she's doing her job. I'm just like, well, damn, can we fill in the blanks here? Like, we don't tell people the whole story. Tell people the whole story. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know Madeline Mitchell like that. I don't know how that works. So I'm going to stay out of it. See, fellas don't be out here waiting to be chosen. Yes, I have turned down a proposal. We weren't even dating anymore. He was trying to convince me that we were destined to be together because he was so in love with me and was like, let's get married and just grow into it. Hell no. Damn. So did you remain friends afterward? I mean, what happened afterward? What was that like afterward? I'm curious. Dee writes, hey, good people. Tony writes, good morning. Facebook ain't even notifying when the show's on now. I see Facebook on some bullshit. It ain't just, I think they do with all the shows, maybe. Maybe they do that because I've heard Roland Martin talk about that. Maybe that's all the shows. I don't know. I ain't worried about it. Fellas don't be out here waiting to be chosen, do the choosing. I'm just saying, depends on the scenario. Every scenario is different. There might be some women out there that's like, they find that dude, they don't want to lose him. Got to have you. His favorite color is blue.
You gonna do my daughter like that? I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah, I can definitely see this being fake. It could be. I can see just. I mean, that's an overreaction right there. I mean, if that's me and that's medium Buddha, I ain't reacting like that. You know what I'm saying? I could react like that, but from what I saw, dude just walked away. He didn't say nothing to her. He didn't disrespect her. He just grabbed his boo. His favorite color is blue. And the more I watched that, I'm thinking, you know what? I do like the color blue. Blue's a nice color. And that's it. He was out. Tony writes, it's fake. Could be. Definitely could be. Charles writes, I got notification. Yeah, I mean, they win pickers and winners and winners and losers. Facebook chooses winners and losers. It is. That's their platform. They can do what they want to do. I ain't mad at them. I'm kind of mad at them, but they do what they want to do. Do what they want to do. Right ahead. That's what you want to do. Go ahead. I remember that video of Gabriel Taye, and the video quality was terrible. I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about the video quality. It was the worst. I'm like, damn, this is like the new millennium. And it's like, you got the first ever video camera. It's like the first ever video surveillance system or something like that. Now, I do know that Gabriel Taye's mother, she started the Gabriel B. Taye Foundation, and you can find it, GabrielBTayeFoundation.org. And they're talking about bullying. You know, they're trying to empower people to overcome. I think that's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. To try to deal with the tragedy. It's very horrible. Very horrible. Good morning to you. Yeah, that could be your child. That could have been my child. Speaking of children, I got a few things I want to talk about this morning, but speaking of children, remember the boy, his name was from Gabriel Taye to Tyree Sampson. Tyree Sampson was the young man, little black and brown boy that fell off of the roller coaster. That's why I don't fuck with roller coasters and rides. I don't need to do none of that. It's not that fun. It really ain't. People were like, ooh, the rides, they overblowing it. They're trying to make it seem like it's more than what it really is. It ain't all that. Stop it. Everybody in here has rode on a ride before. It ain't. If you really want to get a thrill, jump out of a plane or something like that. But now what they're finding out, and this family is about to own that park. What they're finding out in the investigation is that a park employee tampered with the ride's harness, making it unsafe. Apparently, the operator manually adjusted the seats to accommodate larger riders. And apparently in doing so, he made the safety restraints, unsafe. 14 years old. I saw the video. I wish I could get it out of my head. I cannot. 14 years old, the video, don't go look for it unless you're really into that, because you're going to see what you want. You're going to see all of it. It's not good. It's not good. It's very graphic. And man. I know Brother Fame was like, oh, I blame the parents because he was bigger and his father should have known. Now, if that was my kid, I probably would have told my kid not to get on. Like, nah, you can't get on no rides. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. You just can't do that. Go get on something else. If it was me, that's just kind of parent I am. But, man. Slips out of a ride. I don't know. Last time I was on a ride, I'll be honest with you, I was holding on for dear life. I probably was. Like, got my feet wrapped around the bars, if that can save me. I mean, whatever it takes, right? Nah, we ain't friends no more. He had lots of codependency issues and was trying to make me responsible for his emotions, overall happiness. It was toxic. Oh boy, I'm glad you got out of that. Angela writes, TNT writes, beautiful little boy. Rooster Fire writes, his favorite color is blue. Right. His favorite color is blue. That's it. Tony writes, oh, so he did some Owen Hart-ish. Yeah, they're about to own that park. Kamiki writes, just ask my husband if he would have said yes if I proposed first. This ninja said probably. Probably? It's a yes or no question, sir. Now we got beef first thing in the morning. Oh, dear Lord. Kamiki, I've said it before. You don't listen to Nathan Ivey Show and discuss it with your spouse or significant other, and you definitely don't listen to the show sitting next to your spouse. You don't do that, because it may cause beef. He said probably. Oh, man. How long y'all been married? I don't know. Me and my wife talk about this all the time, and I think couples do this. Sometimes people are like, would you get married again? And the answer changes. Like, when she feeling me, she's like, oh, for sure. When she ain't feeling me, she's like, I don't know, probably. Can you stop asking me questions? Leave me the hell alone, right? That's funny. Probably. It depends on, am I getting a dowry? Get some ghosts and chickens and stuff on the farm. Sheila writes, I love the amusement park rides. Enjoy yourself, Sheila. You're better than me. You're way better than me. The only time I get on a ride is if there's some money involved. Like, you ride the ride, you win $1,000 or win. I think I ride it for like 50,000, something like that. That may be worth 100,000. Other than that, no. Shannon writes, this is why we got to get over this whole being nice stuff. He adjusted it because his desire to allow the kids to ride outweighed his knowledge of mechanics and concerns for concerns for safety. People get complacent and treat things as no big deal. We do it all the time. Safety measures are in place for a reason, right? Sheila writes, you're nice. Hey, it was good to see you, Sheila. Yeah, that was Sheila. She writes, your wife was very nice and friendly at the fight party. Yeah, I met Sheila recently. It was great to meet her. Yes, the wifey is. She's a very nice person. She's a nice person, just generally. Vernon writes, me and my wife just agreed to get married. Now, no one really asks. She didn't even want a big wedding. She just wanted a house that we had built. Okay. I feel that. Yeah, that was the same thing with us. We just decided to get married one day. So, let's get married today. She was like, really? I was like, yeah, let's do it. She was holding my face, looking, and she's like, okay. And we got married that day. Let me see. Didi writes, I think if a woman wants to know, she would be married to a guy she has been dating for a while. She has talked about marriage. She can take control of her life. Ask him. If he says no, move on and find someone that wants what you want. I'm with you on that. We in 16 years. Ninja said he can't remember if I got on his nerves or not back then. 16 years, you in deep. 16 years, you in deep. Anything over 10 years, you in deep. You hit a decade with one person, you in deep. You in real deep. Nat writes, that was a good fight. Errol versus Crawford next. Errol, oh yeah, that's gonna be the fight. That's gonna be the biggest fight since maybe Floyd Mayweather, but probably even better than that because you getting two of the top flight boxers at the top of their game. I don't really watch a lot of boxing matches. Matches, but I got my little favorites. You know what I'm saying? Like I love me some Charlo brothers right now. The Charlo brothers, Lions only. You don't like boxing if you don't like the Charlos. They crazy ass. One of them brothers is nuts. You can just see it in his eyes. He's just nuts. And Errol Spence is a monster, and so is Terrence Crawford. I would probably, I don't know. Post-accident, I'm taking Crawford. Before the accident, I'd probably take Errol Spence. But I'm not telling you, I'm not a big boxing guy. There's people out there that got a lot more experience with boxing than me. I'm just a fan from a distance, but I'll be at that fight. You can believe that. I want to see that. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Good morning, brother.
Yes, sir. My name's Fame Rothstein, a.k.a. Michael Snackson, a.k.a. Bay O Wolf. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, brother. How about yourself?
Pleasant. I just wanted to make sure that my name wasn't came up. I heard somebody say something about, remember Fame was saying that guy was too big to be on helicopters and whatnot, or roller coasters or something. It sounded like you had said that.
I think I said
Say
that.
what?
I mentioned that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not backing down from that. His parents didn't send him to that amusement park to sue him for his death. They sent him to that part to think he was going to enjoy himself. And I'm sure he didn't falling off that damn thing. But because, like I said, his parents wasn't there, the chaperones, somebody was supposed to tell him he's in excess of 320 pounds. This ain't a good look, bro. Don't do it. These ain't made for people like you. And because nobody had any heart to tell him that, his parents had to endure a lot of slow singing and flower bringing. Am I right or wrong?
Slow singing and flower bringing. I think you're right.
I mean, that's basically what happened because nobody had the heart to tell him, you know, roller coasters ain't made for 300-pound, 6'2" people. You know, because nobody had the heart to tell him. Now, like I said back then, I feel sorry for those parents that they have to go through that. If they sue him, I hope they get a men out of it. You know, like you said, they're gonna own that park. I hope so. You know, especially hearing that somebody tampered with the stuff. Oh, that's a real problem right there. You know, but I even, you know, said some stuff on YouTube about it. Like, you know, I hope the lawyers do the right thing and don't put his parents through a bunch of bullshit and just settle. Unlike Nancy Ronan, put Gabriel Taye through parents through a bunch of bullshit. We ain't responsible when somebody get home from school because they was bullied. You know, all that type of monkey ass shit she said. All that monkey ass shit that she said that basically, you know, like I've been saying since day one, she should have just been a gentleman about it and surrendered her license. Surrendered her educator's license, whether it's administration or teaching, give it up. Because you have no business being around kids after saying some shit like that. Can we agree on that?
You already know we can agree on that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, whoever came in there, you know, you're saying that, yeah, Fame said this and that about Brother Samson. Hell, I hurt for Samson. But had he been in my care, I would have told him, like, bro, you 6'2", 300 pounds. He looked like he was on his way to be a Division I athlete. I seen a video of him training. You know, probably would have been an offensive lineman or an interior defensive lineman. He wasn't real agile, but that could have came. He was only 14. You know, that could have came. But it was just like, okay, this is a big old biggin. This is a beefcake. Don't get on this roller coaster. You know, if you're over 230 pounds, don't go on a roller coaster. They're not made for you. They're made for 180-pound men and 140-pound women. You know what I'm saying? They're not made for, like, big people. So, I heard for him. I just really wanted to just clear, to clear the air on my name, make sure it ain't being misrepresented, as it often is on this show by certain people, namely the talk show host. But that's all I got, B. It's been real. I had fun. Hey, man, we're going to do this again someday, and we're going to do it bigger and better the next time. Okay? You be blessed.
There he is. There's that Hal. He's back. It's Fame Rothstein. Appreciate you, Fame. Have a great weekend. I agree with what he said about Mary Ronan, 100%. Let me move on. I got multiple things I want to bring to your attention this morning. Then I got to be out. Got a bunch of things going on today and over the weekend. Good morning to you. This next story comes from the Twin Cities. And at this point, we don't know exactly what school this incident emanates from. We don't know. What we do know is that a teacher in Minnesota cut a black boy's hair without the parents' permission. Would you like to see what his hair looked like? And as I understand it, the police were called and sent to the school, but we don't know what's happened yet. I like to know two things. Number one, let's assume for the sake of the argument that it's not a fake story, it's a real story. Number one, I'd like to know, what do you think the punishment should be? Does it matter what the explanation is? And I want to give you at least one scenario in which you might say, hey, okay, I can understand a teacher cutting my 12-year-old's head without calling me and without permission. But first, let me show you the evidence. Check this out. There's a little boy right there. And that purports to be what his hair looked like when he came home. It's not even cut evenly. What kind of clippers you use? Those clippers must be old or dirty or something. Maybe the blades are dull, because clearly that's not an even cut. Now, I've got a 7-year-old little boy, and right now I am his barber. When you have a son, the father is the barber to the son. You know what I'm saying? At some point, I'm going to take him over to the best barber in the city, my personal barber, and let him, take over. But for right now, that's daddy's duty. So I cut his hair. I make sure his hairline and all that kind of stuff. That's my job, right? Because he's my son. And matter of fact, we just cut his hair the other day. I need some new clippers myself. That's how I know clippers can be uneven, because I'm looking at my boy like, oh, shit, can't mess my boy up. So I got to take my time with him. But how would you feel if your child comes home, you send him to school with a fro, and he comes home like that? And then secondly, what should happen with the teacher? Does it matter what the teacher has to say? Like, the first thing I want to know is I want to hear from the teacher firsthand. I want to hear what their explanation was. Now, what if the teacher says, you know what? The little boy was being bullied because he had a fro, and he asked me if I could cut it for him. So I had some clippers. I just cut it for him. You know what I'm saying? I was doing him a favor. That's one thing, as opposed to some other reason as to why the teacher would have cut the hair. Now, let me get this right. Let me get this straight. It doesn't matter. When you're dealing with other people's children, you should not be doing nothing to their hair or their clothes without speaking with mom and or dad first. It should never happen. And if it does happen, it's going to cause a major problem. And I don't suspect this would ever happen to my son. I don't suspect that. And I'm not even going to speculate, as to how I would react to it, because I wouldn't be happy. We'll put it that way. I would not be happy. And I'm on some eye for an eye type shit. That's kind of my personal code. Anything you do to me, I can do to you. Anything you do to me and mine, I can start right there. That's the starting point for what I'm going to do to you. Right. But clearly, I think we all agree that the teacher in this scenario should be fired. They should be removed from working with children, because if you got that kind of arrogance that you're just going to cut a child's hair and then send it, and you don't send no message home, like, look, before your son gets home, I won't let you know I cut his hair. What? I cut his hair. Here's why, ma'am. Here's why, sir. I mean, that's the least you can do if everything's on the up above. You know what I'm saying? But we keep seeing these articles, man, of these teachers and these administrators just doing the craziest things. Nat writes, I'm going to have to put hands on you doing that to my child, shaking my head. Daryl writes, I would go to the school with some clippers and tell them to assume the position and proceed to F his or her hair up. Tony writes, anything going on with my son, you call him first. You ain't taking it upon your own hands, period. I just can't imagine. There's no scenario if I'm working in a school in which I'm cutting somebody's hair without talking with their parents, unless it's like a life or death situation. Like there's a substance that got on the hair and I got to cut the hair or else it's going to destroy the scalp and the skin. I don't even know what that substance could be. Like if it's like life and death and you got to cut my kid's hair to preserve their life and health, go ahead and cut their hair. You know what I'm saying? I had to cut his hair. You know, remember Michael Jackson's hair get caught on fire, right? I don't know. Again, this is a fantastic scenario. I can't even imagine what a substance or scenario could be in which something like that would happen. But let's say they're doing a science experiment and my son's hair gets caught on fire. And I don't know, it's smoldering on his scalp. So to save his scalp, they got to cut it off. Okay, great. Cut it off. Other than that, leave it alone. Other than that, I ain't messing with it. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your West Side Connection, Draft Squad 52, also known as Black Not Democrat. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent, Black Not Democrat.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Nate. I'm listening to your show today, and it's about school and school boards, and I'm sure you're aware of it. I posted it on the YouTube chat that the Biden administration, DOJ, have now put parents who speak out at school board meetings because of the type of stuff that you're talking about. They're being put on a special terrorist list because I'm sure you've heard about this story, right, Nate?
No.
Oh, well, you should read it because it says the President Biden is now weaponizing the Department of Justice to go after parents that oppose the school boards and some of the article says leftist socialist agenda, but there's way more to it than that. And he says that they're attempting to impose on Americans' children. And it's because of parents like you who are upset with the school boards and the things that they saw during the Zoom meetings and the virtual learning during the pandemic. All of that stuff came to a boil. So as I was listening to you, Nate, all I'm thinking is, I hope they don't put Nate on some kind of watch list as being a terrorist because you're upset with what's going on at your children's school. So
I'm already on the watch list.
That's all I really.
I'm already on the watch list.
Why, Nate? Because
I'm already on the watch list at my kid's school.
Okay, well, I think you should read some of that article because again, they put this stuff out to silence people, not like you, because you're gonna speak, but they silence people because you were talking about the parent of that boy who committed suicide because
Gabriel
he was
Taye.
being bullied. Yeah, and again, maybe she don't have the balls that you have and the courage that you have to come out and speak forcefully about what's going on in your child's school. But when they came out with this, Nate, because of what was happening in Lawton County, Virginia, with the school board up there, and one of the fathers, his daughter got raped because of some little boy who was allowed to go into the girls' bathroom because he identified as a girl, and he raped this girl, and the school board tried to cover it up and transfer the kid to another school without informing the parents. And that father went to that school at that school board meeting, and he went off. He went straight Nathan Ivey on him, and he got put on a terrorist watch list because the school board got all scared and basically said, parents, shut the hell up, take your ass back home, and we'll tell you how your children are supposed to be educated and regulated while they're in our school. So you keep doing your thing, Nate. You're going to do what you do, but I think you should dedicate a little bit of time to this story about President Biden's Department of Justice going at, because it was a letter that emanated from the school board because they was mad because parents went to the meetings and said, we don't like what y'all doing, and we here to hold y'all accountable. So thanks for taking my time. And before I go, Nate, it's Friday. I ain't got no job. Oh, that's right. I'm retired, and I'm walking while retired. Drop Squad 52. Dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Be safe in them streets, choppers. Peace out.
Peace out, brother. Appreciate you. I'll look for that story. It's very interesting. Let me move on. Got a few things I want to hit, then I got to be out this morning. And Edna Howe is planning to be with you on Sunday. She'll be back and better than ever. And then the lovely ladies of Melanin Insights as well on Sunday. And then, of course, I'll be back with you on Monday. But let's talk about some local stories here. So it's being reported, how many people shop at Kenwood Mall? Do you shop at Kenwood Mall? You shop at Kenwood Mall. Hold on, we get a call from brother Daryl. Hey, good morning, Daryl.
What's up, Nate?
What up, Daryl?
No, I had to come in. Hey, Nate, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep.
Oh, okay. What's up, man?
Doing well.
Hey, real quick, I had to fact check him as he was sitting there spewing those lies. I just did a simple Google search.
Mm-hmm.
Anything he's referring to is from October of last year, and it's all from right-wing web publications and bloggers. Man, I mean, again, the gaslighting continues with him. And you should have, I mean, since Drop, you want to come out of your cave with your fellow partner, the Wolf Man over there that sound like he got, well, he don't have any sense at all. He's so weak. But anyway, since you came out of your cave, why don't you talk about the tape that came out about House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy saying, oh, I'm down, saying, oh, I didn't say that about Trump, and then they caught his butt on tape lying about it. Why don't you talk about that? Why don't you talk about Trump getting charged, what is it, $10,000 a day by the New York AG? Why don't you talk about that? Why don't you talk about the money Jared Kushner got from the Saudis? Why don't you talk about that, Drop? No, he don't want to mention that stuff. He always want to come in and gaslight. He come out of the blue with some nonsense talking about, wait a minute. Why don't you talk about the Sanders trying to take on Disney? I thought y'all Republicans were about free enterprise. I guess that goes out the window too. Man, get out of here. Nate, have a nice weekend, bro.
Appreciate the call. Now, when Daryl calls me right after Drop, I know he's fact checking. And if you notice what I did with Drop, is like, I ain't see that. I'll look for it. He said something. He was like, it was something he said when he was explaining. I'm like, he must be some of that right-wing media type ish. Because I didn't see that article. Stop reading that shit, Drop. It's bad for your brain, man. It doesn't make you smarter. And but Daryl is correct. I am aware that House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, there's an audio that was leaked this past week in which he was talking about Donald Trump. He goes back to that whole thing around the Capitol, and he was like, he would ask Trump to resign. Now he says that behind closed doors. Then he gets out there in front of everybody and says the exact opposite. And it's just another example of the games that the GOP play. Now, all the parties play games. They all play games, but I mean, it just be straight up lies coming from these GOP, man. Straight up lies. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh my God. Like, everybody knew that the claims that Trump was making about the election was a lie, but they went with it because he was at the top of the party. Simple as that. It is what it is, unfortunately. Anything going on? I think I read that. Man would flip out for sure. Is that right? Tony writes, is it just me or does it seem like society just be wanting an ass whooping? Danita writes, I was at Walmart with Trey. He was in front of me in the line. This might ask me, what would he do if he cut his hair? I didn't hear the man. Trey turned around and told me what he said. I told Trey to tell him he could call his father and ask him. What? The guy started apologizing immediately and said he was just joking. What would make an adult say anything to my child at all? I don't get it. I'm with you, Danita. What would make an adult? I don't talk to children like that. I don't get it. I don't get it either. You're right. Have him talk to his father. Some tells me that if he was with his dad, he wouldn't have said that. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have said that. Drop is lying. People saying Drop is lying. They fact checking them in real time. That's not true. Drop is lying like a motherfucker. Where did he post the article? Kamiki writes, that's because these parents are terrorizing the schools boards, like the one that owned a gun shop that threatened to come back and shoot people if they impose a mask mandate. They are terrorists. Yeah, he tried to compare me to the MAGA parents. Yeah, Drop be trying to gaslight, man, but it's just not going to work here. Sister V writes, Drop, Nathan, you will not find the story as Drop told it, LOL, right. Mike writes, the teens that took the mall, which is where I'm going. I've never owned anything that's Louis Vuitton. You know what I'm saying? I just don't have the money for it. And if I did, I'm not even sure at this point in my life if I really care about that kind of shit. Like, I want something that's quality. And so if a name and quality are synonymous, that's great. But we live in a culture where brands are everything. And now we live in a culture with the internet and these drop shit marketing and all this kind of shit. You can steal some shit, start a store and sell it and make a lot of money out of it. But it's being reported that a masked group of about 8 to 10 people ran into the Louis Vuitton store at Kenwood Town Center, and they grabbed about $413,000 worth of stuff. And I'm like, $413,000? Like, what the fuck are they selling for Louis Vuitton that's worth that much? Like, could they really grab that much? So basically, it was a daylight grab and dash. Now, Cincinnati ain't ready for nothing like that. You know, Cincinnatians see something like that, they're not going to get involved. I got a screenshot here. I'll show it to you. They're not going to get involved with nothing like that. Cincinnatians don't do that. And if I was at the store, I wouldn't do a gosh darn thing either. I just watch them walk out. I tell you off the top, that ain't my shit. I'm not chasing somebody down for my shit. Everything in my house is insured. Somebody come in here and want to rob, okay, go right ahead and rob. It'll be inconvenient, but we're going to get it all back and then some. So I ain't really worried about it. And these stores, they got their shit is insured too. So if I'm a security guard at Kenwood Town Center and I see 8 or 10 people with masks on running out, I'm just going to surveil them with my walkie-talkie and let the police know where they are. Is that wrong? I'm just being honest with you. It's not about my heart. It ain't about nothing like that. It's just that ain't my job. My job is to get on my little walkie-talkie. Hey, this is Nathan over here with Top Flight Security of the World. I'm over to Kenwood Town Center. There's a robbery in progress right now. I might try to get you some descriptions of the people and their cars. I'll do all of that from afar. But I ain't confronting nobody over no shit like that. I'll be the worst security guard ever. Because you can come in here and take anything you want to take. You know what I'm saying? And if you press me on it, I didn't see anything. Can't see. Here's a screenshot of them walking out. Yeah, man. Somebody, they went in and cased the joint. I mean, did they have license plates on here? I see there's no front license plate. Let me move this thing right here. There's no front license plates on there. Did they have license plates? Because, you know, we got the car. Was that a rental? How many people believe they're going to find these people within a month? And I've never been to Louis Vuitton before. Is that even possible? Sometimes I think that when there's like a robbery, like, and I'm not saying that's what happened in this case, but I'm just telling you what I think sometimes. Sometimes I think when you hear about the amount of the overall amount of the things that have been stolen, sometimes I think they inflate that so they can just like get more insurance money back. Because $413,000, let me go to a Louis Vuitton store right now and see what they got. 400,000, like they got some bags. I'm looking at some bags right now on Google, 300, 3,000, 2,000, things like that. But how did 8 people steal $400,000 worth of clothing and bags and shit? Is that even possible? Do they have like a $50,000 bag or something like that? Now, if that's the case, I can see it. Does Louis Vuitton sell a $50,000 bag? And some of y'all paid. Quit acting like you're not paid. Some of y'all paid. I'm not paid like that. I'm not paid like that. Dre writes, hey, can I get one of them LV bags? Yeah, I don't have any bags. Angela writes, I shop at Kenwood Mall. That was planned and well-executed robbery. I've seen the LV store. I'm just saying, $413,000. I got another image here for you, and I don't see no $400,000. I mean, do they have $100,000? What's the most expensive thing at Louis Vuitton? What's the most expensivest thing? 2 chains. Louis Vuitton most expensive item. Okay. So I'm looking at the most expensive items, and they got some bags here. I'm not sure if it's at the Louis Vuitton store in Kenwood Mall, but they got a bag here that's $64,000. They got another bag that's $45,000, another that's $60,000. So if they got $60,000 bags, sure, yeah, you can do that. I mean, everybody grab a bag. Everybody grab a bag. 8 people grab one bag. That'll be about $400,000. But do they sell that? Let me look at the Kenwood Mall. Oh, let me go to Louis Vuitton. Oh, I don't know. Oh, no. They stole every item on the showroom floor. That's what they're saying. They stole every item on the showroom floor. And I'm like, it doesn't seem like they got a lot of stuff in their arms. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in Cincinnati, there's a bunch of dudes surrounded by $400,000 worth of Louis Vuitton shit. Now, where they gonna sell that shit? They probably gonna move it out of state. They probably in California or Chicago or New York right now. That's probably what's going on. If somebody posts they got a Louis Vuitton bag for the Lolo, we already know where they got it from. The fuck? Hey, listen, they turn these brands into must-have items, and people must have it. So I get it, man. That could have just as easy have been like Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Somebody robbed and steal some classic Jordans. Here's another image right here. They got away with, see, I still see stuff inside the store, though. I see little shops and stuff there. Look at the security guard. That's my man right there. Look at the security guard over here. He like, I don't see nothing. That security guard is doing exactly what I would be doing. What is he doing? He's on his walkie-talkie. On the walkie-talkie. We got a problem here. We got a problem here. See the guy? He's on the left-hand side of the screen. See him right there? What is he doing? On his walkie-talkie. He ain't running after nobody. That's my dog right there. Put your life on the line for no gosh darn Louis Vuitton bag. It ain't that serious. That is my man. That's the hero of the day right there. That's the hero of the day. They making a dash. He's like, can I get some backup? I don't have any backup. Where is my backup? Man down, need help. I know that's right, bro. Don't put your life on the line for some leather. For some fucking alligator skin. I don't care what they call it. It ain't worth it. That is me right there. If I was a security guard in that situation, I would do the same thing. Watching them run away. Like, shit, y'all have a good day now. They usually have sheriffs outside of Louis Vuitton and Tiffany's. $400,000 worth of stuff? And it looks like they got bags. So they probably cased the joint, sent some ladies in, do some reconnaissance like 2 weeks ago. How long before they find them? It's always a knucklehead in the group. Always. You got 8 people that's doing a robbery. At least one of them is a Gilligan. You can believe that. And that Gilligan is a loose cannon, a weak link, a motherfucking problem. I say within a month they find them. That's what I say. And I say 2 things. Not only will they find them, but they're not going to recover $400,000 worth of merchandise, I bet. $400,000 more ass. But hey, if that's what they say, that's what they say, you know. That's how the game is, man. That's how the game is. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts, let's go straight to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, Nathan? This is Tony.
Hey, what up, Tony? Good morning, brother.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, real quick, man, about this story with the Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me real quick of some years ago when I was driving the truck, and I had a new hire with me, this white boy, and we're delivering downtown, all the little store pony kegs downtown, and all day long, you know, he just dropping these little derogatory comments and stuff. So I'm kind of taking it in stride. And we went to one store on Ray Street, and the trucks ain't that hard to figure out as far as getting in them and taking product and stuff. And we came out, he saw some little boys go in the truck. He went off, come back here, start running. What you doing? So I had to haul him in, like, nah, man, get back in here. So I brought him back in the store, and I'm like, man, listen, he beat red in the face. He flustering. Man, I don't like when anybody stealing from me. It ain't your stuff. Right. It ain't your shit. It ain't my shit. What you talking about? I said, but I'm gonna show you something in a minute. So we completed the delivery or whatever. We got back in the truck. I said, you know those little boys that you were chasing? I said, watch this shit. We drove around the corner. Right around the corner was the alley with some bigger dudes waiting for him. I said, that was for your dumb ass. I told him, I said, look, man, this isn't ours. This don't belong to us. We ain't paid for it. I told him, I said, I'll tell you what, we about to go to Winton Terrace. You try that again, I'm gonna do you like Denzel. I'm gonna leave you like Training Day. I'm not playing, you know. But yeah, man, it's like he really like took it personally, like it belonged to him. And I'm like, man, I don't care about none of this stuff. I'm going home. So you go ahead and break in, you do this, you do that. Bye-bye. Do you want a bag with that? You know, I'm going home. But you know,
paper
yeah,
or plastic,
how this goes.
Paper or plastic, sir.
Have a good day, sir.
Right.
You know, but yeah, man, but you know how this gonna turn out, man. Like you said, one of them dudes is gonna be like Goodfellas. We're gonna have some dude flashing a new coat, spending this when the plan was to wait a couple months.
Right.
You know, and then everything gonna go bust.
Right.
So, but yeah, I just wanted to chime in real quick, brother.
Yep, appreciate you, man.
I'll talk to you later.
It's a great story,
Right.
man. Tony was like, what the hell is you doing? Hold up. Man, listen, like I told you, somebody broke into our home where we live at now many years ago, crawled through a window. They must have watched us leave. They crawled through a window, went through the house, and stole some electronic equipment. And as my key was hitting the front door, they were running out the back door. I didn't chase them. Everything's insured. What am I chase you for? You know, once you leave the house, you know, I had to go to the house, you know, got the chopper on me and shit. Got to go to the house in every little corner to make sure nobody's hiding. But once the house was clear, called the boys, made a police report. That's what insurance claims are for. I'm not going to chase you down the street because you stole some trinkets. It ain't worth it. Go ahead and take it. Obviously, you need it. Hope you like that Kindle. Stole my daughter's Kindle and maybe something else too. Maybe a phone or something like that. Enjoy it. We good. This is my shit. Let alone I'm working at the store. I don't understand these people put their lives on the line because somebody's stealing from the store where you work. You're not going to get no raise. They ain't going to make you no manager. You don't own it. So why are you going through all these extra hoops and doing all this extra stuff for somebody else's property that's insured anyway? So that right there, man, that security guard right there, that's my kind of person. Shit, don't pay me enough for this. I ain't getting involved. So one or two things are going to happen, or three things. Either they left some evidence and some clues. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that technology these days, man, you just never know. They got cameras everywhere. So you got 8 people involved with a caper. It's probably like more than that involved, because I bet you that the same people that robbed were not the same people that did surveillance. That wouldn't be smart. You got 8 people doing something like this. One of them is probably going to get caught up with another case, get pulled over. If you drive in a car anywhere long enough, you're going to come in contact with law enforcement. The police already know this. They just sit back and wait. Even if you're not driving, you could be the passenger. And eventually you're going to get stopped on a humble, on some just freaky shit, some inexplicable things. It's going to happen. And they're going to find out. All it takes is for one of them to get in trouble on something else. You get into a spat with your girlfriend, with your baby mamas and them, and you told her. How you get all this money? Here you go, baby, brand new bag for you. Like, wait a minute. How you pay for this Louis Vuitton bag? Don't worry about it. You know, God just blessed us. That's on Friday. On Sunday, y'all get into an argument. She can't stand your ass. You make the mistake and put your hands on her. She called the boys. It all comes out. You know, you're doing a caper like that, man. Not in any way am I trying to promote criminality, but the more people you doing shit like that with, the more likely you are to get caught up. When you do dirt by yourself, right? Just you, just me, myself, and I. That's the only person you can depend on when you're doing dirt. Nobody else. Vernon writes, hell, you might get fired stepping in to stop them, right? Charles writes, a security guard works at LV, not for LV. Had he or she tried to intervene and got seriously hurt, LV wouldn't cover the medical expenses. Don't do it. Like Huey said, it's not your ish, right? Mike writes, sometimes you never get caught. That's right, Mike. You're right. Like when you're doing dirt and whatever, you can get a lot of that shit off. You know what I'm saying? How many people ever did dirt and got away with it? I did some dirt and got away with it. Everybody has, right? And what does it do? It fuels you. Like, oh shit, I'm smart. I'm out here like a criminal mastermind. I can do whatever I want to do. Next thing you know, you get effed up. Mike writes, sometimes you never get caught at all. That's true. That's true, Mike. Very, very true. I can't say that's not true. You're absolutely right about that. Sometimes you never get caught. But I would imagine, I don't know. All I'm saying is the more people involved, the more likely it is that some Gilligan shit gonna happen. And all it takes is one person, 1 weak link. You got 8 people doing a caper. All it takes is 1 weak link. Now, these days, what's the odds? You get 8 people together. What's the odds that at least one of them is a Gilligan? What's the odds? I say it's pretty high. All right, check out this video for my friends over at Renew Community Church. They do a Sunday morning live stream masterclass this Sunday at 11:45 Eastern Standard Time. They'll be talking about health is wealth. Check this out. We'll talk on the other side.
Search for today or better health. It takes 60 seconds for the universe, through the invisible law of attraction, to be fully activated in your life. God's invisible law of attraction is available to you today because you are just 60 seconds away from your better health. Take the next 60 seconds and improve your health by telling a health story for 60 seconds 3 times a day for 21 days. Why 21 days? Because that's how long it will take to change your life. Now say this health story out loud 3 times a day. It is my divine and human right to walk in healing and health and wholeness today. I am well, healthy, and I'm spiritually well, psychologically well, and emotionally well. Today, I walk in divine health and divine healing. My health is getting better and better today.
Thank you, Daryl. So good morning to you. I did it twice. I'm not perfect. But as I was saying our friends over at Renew Community Church, they do a Sunday morning live stream at 11:45 Eastern time. And this Sunday's topic, your health is your wealth. Join over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube today. You can subscribe on YouTube. You'll get that instant notification to your phone. Check out the masterclass. I was talking with Mr. Winburn. He's on that health kick. Plant-based, best thing you can do is plant-based. Maybe you don't cut out the meat entirely, but plant-based. That's primary what you eat. Plants, beans, fruits, things like that. No dairy, zero dairy, no cheese, nothing that's made from any kind of cow, nothing like that. Cut all that shit out. You'll never feel better. And cut out the cane sugar. That's it. You got to F with something, F with that monk fruit. Like if you're a coffee drinker, a tea drinker, either put some honey in it or get you some monk fruit. You'll feel better instantly. Everything will be better. Everything in your life will be better if you do that. Trust me. And we ain't even talking about no cardio or lifting. We ain't talking about that. I'm just talking about what you eat. What my people have to remember is two things. Two things you got to remember every time you put something in your mouth in terms of food. Two things you got to remember. One, you got to ask yourself every time you eat something, is this going to fight disease in my body or promote disease in my body? Every time you eat something, ask yourself that. When you look at your food and ask yourself, is this going to promote disease or fight disease? And then the second thing you should ask yourself is this going to spike my blood sugar? And if so, how much? And what is my plan to bring my blood sugar back down? You should ask yourself that every time you eat. Because every time you eat, those are the choices that you're making. Every time you eat something. Food is medicine. That's good food. Shit food is poison. The reason why we got all these problems and all these physical ailments, the body was not meant to deal with that. Good food is medicine. It's not pill boxes. That's not medicine. What medicine is good water, good food, rest. That's sleep. That's medicine. That's how the body heals. Anything less than that, and you cutting off your life. And I want you to be around. Thank you so much, Daryl. Daryl cares about me. I appreciate you. Let me go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan, and all the choppers. How you doing? This is Sister V.
Hey, Sister V. How you doing?
I'm good. Of course, tuning in. You got so many avenues of ways to tune into you. I just hit any one of them. Just like, let me check it out, see what's going on. Let me say this about Winburn's classes. I might try to tune into that. I've taken some of his master classes, and I got to tell you all, if you haven't tried it, try it. Gotta love Winburn. He puts together well-organized programs, and you will walk away with some information. And I am so glad to see that so many Black people are really concerned about their health today. When you were talking about, cutting back on sugars, things, more water, a little exercise, we have to deal with the issue of sugar addiction and retraining our taste buds. So I've been on this mission myself for the last 3 months, and I'm going to tell you what did it. Turning 60 is no joke. Your body feels it. Things you used to do, you can't do no more. And so you have to really train yourself and want to get better, want to do better. And so I think I've had coffee. I was addicted to coffee, and I fixed my coffee up like it was a liquid candy bar. Loved it. And so I haven't had
candy bar. Wow.
Hey, people who are coffee drinkers who dump all that stuff in it, they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
You got to hit.
Talking about.
You got to hit that taste, right? And so gets my morning going. And I used to be able to go for like 3 hours or so with no food, nothing. Just got that coffee in me. And so the last 3 months, I think I have had about the equivalent of about a cup in the last 3 months. And I got to tell you, when I dressed it up, thought, oh, I'm going to enjoy this coffee, couldn't drink it. It was too sweet. So it really is about retraining, your taste buds and getting serious about your health. And so I went and got me a little glucometer. I check my blood sugar sometimes twice a day. I'm checking my blood pressure in the morning, sometimes in the evening after I get done with exercise, and just really, really getting involved in you and investing in you. And I'm telling you, my numbers, everything is looking much better. And just really, it started showing about 5 weeks in. So I'm like, what am I going back to the craziness for? Stop eating out, cook my own food, more fruits and vegetables. And so I guarantee anybody that's struggling with health issues, check it out. Start somewhere. And so if that's where you start Sunday with his program, you know, my advice is to do it, because you got to start somewhere. So let me tell you, I was listening to you about Gabriel Taye, and I got to tell you, I really thank you for continuing to keep us updated and talking about the issue, because the hope is that there'll be no more Gabriel Taye, right? One of the issues that I have some great concern with, I ran for school board in 2013, and one of the biggest issues I was pushing is to really look into how CPS is functioning. They have a bit of a hybrid system where we elect the school board, but the LSDMCs run the schools. And some of those LSDMCs are totally dysfunctional. And so you have others that are high functioning and others that are totally dysfunctional. And so when you're talking about cover-ups and things that aren't getting addressed, people don't really know who to go to. So you start getting the runaround. Do I go to the board or do I go to the LSDMC? That's where stuff gets really shady for a lot of people. And you have to understand how that system works. So we have city council, right? If you have a certain problem within your community, they'll tell you, did you talk to your people at your community council? So a lot of times our elected officials hand off their responsibility to somebody else. And it's harder for us to be able to hold unelected bodies accountable. See, I can hold you accountable if I elect you because I can unelect you. So I have a way of holding you accountable. But how do you hold a body that you didn't elect accountable? And so through this whole thing, I really haven't heard the role of that particular school's LSDMC. See, none of them want to get the label of a bad school. So they're going to hide. They're going to hide the attendance. They're going to get that attendance in any way they can. They're going to hide incidents, try to handle the stuff internally, hush it up, because that's their job, to try to make their school look good. They can get the enrollment up and go out and get grants and things like that. So they're the ones running the schools. And I personally had an issue with it. The same way I have an issue with City Hall, and they give all of their development and everything away to Port Authority and 3CDC, where people cannot hold those types of bodies accountable. Now, there is some accountability from elected officials in that they have some oversight as to who gets on these boards. But it is very difficult, but it allows elected officials a way out, a way to just sort of hand off their responsibility to somebody else and then throw their hands up like, hey, we don't know nothing about it. You have to go to them. So that whole situation, Ronan got out in front, and I agree with you all. I need to strip her name because she did not handle that well. But the reason why she didn't handle it well is because, again, stuff like that goes down. A lot of times, you got to ask the question, did it trickle upward? Who knew what when? When did they find out? Sounds to me like by the time they found out and it got to the CPS board and Mary Ronan's level, stuff was already out of control. Now they're in damage control mode. That was all that was. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, we got a little boy that's gone too soon. And so that was one of the things that I definitely wanted to tackle. And I think that there obviously was a problem at the school level, as to why everything that led up to this boy's demise was covered up. And I really think people need to pay attention to some of the LSDMCs and how they're operating. And it doesn't sound like to me that the school, like I said, they're being forced to make some changes. But the school board has absolutely given away their responsibility to these boards. And so these boards operate the school. They handle it as if they have their own individual board that runs things. And I'm still searching to see how do they report to the board? What real responsibility does the CPS board, the elected board, really what is their responsibility to them in terms of holding them LSDMCs accountable? And I still don't have the answer to that. So there was a lot of stuff that went wrong that led to that boy's demise, and that is too sad. And I do appreciate you continuing to bring it up because we have to, like I say, if you forget the past, you're destined to repeat it. And we certainly don't want to have a repeat of something like that. So I appreciate you taking my call, and I hope everyone has a good weekend. And I'm definitely going to check out the master class for the health because I'm on a serious health journey right now. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good weekend.
Yes, Sister V. I love her voice. I love her intelligence. I appreciate her calling in and saying all those things, including Wimburn. I keep telling people it's not about, people might be thinking, okay, he's a pastor, it's Renewed Community Church, but they're not trying to convert you. They're just trying to give you tips to live your best life, be the best you can. That's the series. That's the whole point of Masterclass. And I mean, that's a great way to spend some time on a Sunday, learning some tips on how you can be the best you can be. But again, back to that health is wealth keys. I'll say it again. Every time you eat, every time you're about to put some food or drink into your mouth, ask yourself, is this going to fight disease or promote disease? Because that's what it's going to do. It's either one of those two things. It's either going to be something that's nutritious for your body, it's going to help your immune system and build you up, or it's going to be essentially edible poison that is slowly poisoning your cells in your body. You have to make that decision. And like I told you, man, there's no chicken. There's no food. I don't have any favorite foods. My favorite food is healthy food, period. I don't care about no fucking food in the world. Some people live to eat. I don't live to eat. I eat to live. It's just nourishment. That's it. Food is nothing more than a nutrient delivery device. Now, I mean, I have fun. You can have some fun. Oh, that's a good dish. Great. Yeah, absolutely. Live your life. I'm just saying, though, to my peoples, especially when you get in them 40s, 50s, and 60s, life starts catching up with you, start having diabetes. Me and my wife's circle, more and more people around us are having serious health issues and or dying. That's what happens when you live a long life. So take care of yourself. I need everybody to support me. I need you. I need you alive. So take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Take care of yourself. That's all I can say. Take care of yourself. It matters. It matters. And then what she said about the schools, I'm with the business as well. I'm with it 100%. I think she's 100% spot on. She's right about that. But let me go back here. I've got the article pulled up. Therese Thomas, he's the new principal. He's helped create positive behavior expectations to help students understand the expectations of the school. But it's also about the adults in the building living up to their expectations. I don't hear enough about that. That's what my number one issue is. It's all like student focused. And what about the adults? What about the administrators that make these decisions? That's what really matters. So CPS agreed to the following things as a part of their settlement with Gabriel Taye's family. 1, improving efforts to identify and tracking bullying incidents, including easier access to reporting. That sounds good. 2, implementing restorative justice principles and intervention techniques. That sounds good. 3, anti-bullying training and supervision for all staff. That sounds good. And placing a memorial to Gabriel at the school. That sounds cool too. I mean, all this sound good, but if the adults involved are not going to actually do it, like I said, I don't know about, maybe I'm different, but I don't have to be trained on how to not, intercede or when I'm supposed to intercede when I see bullying. It's just common sense. It's common sense. But the other part about that is actually believing students when they say they've been bullied. Because what I've noticed is there are cases where kids will report bullying and the adults, that's counselors, administrators, don't believe it. They don't believe it because it's inconvenient to their time. They're busy. I've got better things to do. Or they don't believe it because they got a history with that child, or they got a history with the child that's being accused, or there's a racial thing going on, right? So how do you get over that? I'm just saying. And me personally, there should be a memorial of Gabriel Taye at every school. Every single CPS school should have a memorial of that little boy, so that when they're walking in and out, everybody can see what happened. It's not just a Carson Elementary School thing. It's a CPS thing. Everybody should see that. That's just me. That's just me. Implementing restorative justice principles and intervention techniques. That has nothing to do with Gabriel Taye whatsoever. That wouldn't save that boy. That has nothing to do. Restorative justice principles were for the students. But what about the administrator that stood over him and didn't say anything and do anything? What about the fact that Gabriel Taye was lied to by officials at the school? How does restorative justice principles and the intervention techniques, how does that address the fact that the adults lied to his mother? It don't. It don't at all. How does anti-bullying training and supervision for all staff have to deal with and account for the fact that staff still lied to that boy's mother? It don't. I mean, I know the Cincinnati way is they said they got a settlement. We supposed to go along and everybody's supposed to agree with it, but no. I'd like to hear how this is supposed to. Now, this is just like a 4 bullet points. I'm sure there's more to it, but I'm just saying a little light to me, but that's just me. That's just me. Say what you want. That's how I feel about it. So I remember back during the campaign when you had people that were running for CPS board. I was one of the moderators when the NAACP did their thing, and I got them all to pledge that if they were elected, that they were going to make sure there was contact information to all of the superintendents, you know what I'm saying? Because what happens is there was no way to contact people for a long time. And they all swore up and down, we'll do this, Nate, we'll get this done. Not for me, for the community. It has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. Oh, what's up, Monique? I see Monisha. Okay, cool. Good people. Let me say this back and forth. I got to say these kind of things because if not, people will take shit the wrong way. But there's a lot of good people that work at CPS. I know a lot of people that work at CPS. I used to work with CPS, and great people. I mean, great people. I've seen teachers literally spend their own money and stay hours after school and come into before school programs to work with our kids for free. I wasn't paying them nothing. They did it just because they wanted to help the kids. Great people. Great people. Oh my God, really good people. More and more I think about it, some really good people. So I have to say that. You know what I'm saying? I got to be fair. If not, somebody might take what I'm saying the wrong way. Let me see. Danita's out. She writes, have a great weekend. I'm great. I'm glad you back. I'm glad you tuned in, Danita. I've been missing you. I know you got some shit going on and life is happening. You can't always listen to the show. I get it, but I'm glad. I was just saying this last week. Like, I don't see Danita no more. Eric writes, I check my blood pressure and sugar every morning. Every time you eat something, ask yourself, is this going to spike my blood sugar? If so, how high? Because there's a glycemic index. You can Google it and it'll tell you. And then what is my plan to bring it back down? With every meal. With every meal. Let me see. Didi writes, we need parents to sign up for LSDMC. Many schools do not have folks to fill these roles. That's sad. That's very sad. And maybe you can have some people in the community that have children at their school to come in and do that. In my daughter's school, their LSDMC is super thick. It's hard to get inside of that. They got a lot of people that want to get involved. That's a great thing. That's a really good thing. But yes, I'm hip to LSDMCs. I was never on the LSDMC. I think I might have sat in a couple meetings when I was working with CPS. I can't remember all the details, but she's right. That's sort of like the how do I put this? Like, I won't say it's like kind of like the brain of the school on some levels. Very important people, people you need to know, and they have a very important job. Like I said, that public education thing ain't no easy thing. That is not an easy thing to deal with. Like, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. So my hat is off to the people that do that kind of work, because it takes a lot out of you from an emotional standpoint, especially if you have a person that, if you have a heart and you care, and I would imagine that all the folks that work with children care. That takes a lot out of you. So we need good people in those positions, and we have good people in those positions, but all my critiques I stand by. But I want to make sure that I'm fair. Nat writes, I def eat healthy most of the time, but those Waynes can be calling me LOL. I mean, do you? I ain't here to make nobody feel bad. All I'm here to do is to spread the gospel of what I know. What you do with it is up to you. It's up to you, but I share with love with my people. Nothing but love. Speaking of which, I got to make a move, family. I got a couple things going on this morning and afternoon. It's going to be a busy weekend for me. It's going to be a great weekend here in the tri-state in terms of the weather. If you see a brother looks like me with some shades on, walking through Eden Park, or I might be walking up and down Sycamore, I might drive out to Wynwoods and walk out there or something, shit, then say hello. It's your boy, Nate Ivey. Listen, have an excellent rest of your day, family. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to tap in on Sunday at 11:45 a.m. for Renew Community Church live stream. You can tap in on Facebook, facebook.com/Cincy Renew. That's CINCI. Pardon me, Renew. On YouTube, Renew Community Church live stream. They've got well over 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you hit that subscription bell. This Sunday's topic: watch your health is your wealth. That's right. You can watch the series Your Health is Your Wealth, starting this Sunday at 11:45 a.m. So it works like this. Like, if you're a live stream kind of person, check out Edna from 10 to 11, then tap back in 11:45 a.m. and get your Sunday started. All right. And with that, my family, I got to make a move. Have an excellent rest of your day. Remember our motto: winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning. And we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nate Ivey, and I'm out.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand. Back again like flu season, I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving, don't give a I don't care. Did the for my lonesome, no wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run, all I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my totem.